Siem Reap is one of those places that we thought we really understood until we actually slowed down and lived there. Most people come here for 2 to 3 days. They wake up early, go to Angkor Wat, maybe wander around Pub Street at night, and then they're gone. We did something a little bit different. We stayed for a full 3 weeks, long enough for the novelty to wear off, long enough to fall into routines, and long enough to see what life here actually feels like. And what we found was a city that's calm but not boring, affordable but not rough, cultural without feeling overwhelming, and surprisingly easy to live in. So this isn't a checklist style guide. This is our lived experience of Siem Reap. Where to stay, where to eat, what to do beyond the temples, and why this place might deserve more than just a quick stop on your itinerary. We stayed at Valla at Rose Apple Square, and this place played a big role in why Siem Reap worked so well for us. This wasn't just somewhere we slept, it was somewhere that we actually lived. The rooms are modern, quiet, and spacious, which matters a lot when you're staying longer or traveling as a family. But what really set it apart was the setup around it. Inside the complex, there's a full gym called Bulldog Gym, which we went to almost every day, a convenience store, and a co-working cafe attached. That combination is pretty rare, especially in a city like this. It made mornings extremely easy for us, especially with the park across the road for our 1-year-old daughter. We were able to train, grab a coffee, get some work done, and head out for lunch, all without overthinking logistics. If you're someone who needs routine while traveling, or you're trying to balance work, fitness, and exploration, this kind of setup makes a huge difference. One thing that we appreciated straight away was just how easy Siem Reap is to move around. For everyday life, cafes, restaurants, markets, and errands, Grab works perfectly. It's affordable, consistent, and you don't feel trapped or overcharged. That alone makes Siem Reap feel very low stress. But when it comes to Angkor Wat and the surrounding areas, that's where we'd recommend doing something a little bit different. For a couple of days, you can hire your own tuk-tuk and drive it yourself in Siem Reap. We rented ours through a company called tuktukrental.com, and it's one of the best decisions we made. You don't have to rent it permanently, not for your entire trip, and not for everything, just to do a little bit of sightseeing on your own. Driving your own tuk-tuk gives you full freedom. You stop when you want, you leave when it feels right, and it turns Angkor from something you rush through into something you experience. There's no avoiding it, Angkor Wat is the reason most people come here. And yes, it does live up to the hype. But Angkor Wat isn't just one temple. It's an entire ancient city spread through jungle, history, and silence. 2 places inside the Angkor complex we absolutely couldn't miss were Bayon Temple and Prohm. Bayon is famous for the giant stone faces carved into the towers, which is calm, mysterious, and watching you from every angle. Standing beneath them really gives you a sense of scale and history that photos simply don't do justice. Prohm feels completely different. This is where the trees are woven directly into the ancient architecture. With massive roots wrapping around doorways and walls, it's one of the clearest reminders that nature always wins. Sunrise at Angkor Wat itself is iconic, but it's also crowded. The magic for us came after the crowds thinned out a little bit. Walking quieter paths, lingering longer than planned, letting moments unfold instead of chasing photos. Another experience that really stayed with us was visiting the floating villages on Tonlé Sap. Seeing entire communities living on and around the water gives you a completely different perspective on Cambodia, one that feels quiet, real, and deeply human. What made this experience even more memorable for us wasn't just the village itself, it was how the day ended. After visiting the floating village, we drove our own tuk-tuk into the countryside and stopped at Phnom Krom. Nothing dramatic, just a simple lookout over the sunset. We sat up there with the locals and watched the sun slowly drop over the rice fields with the landscape glowing gold as everything started to quiet down. No crowds, no noise, just space. Honestly, having our own tuk-tuk to drive yourself makes moments like this possible. The freedom to follow curiosity instead of racing back to town. Food in Siem Reap is one of those things that quietly exceeds expectations, at least for us. Pub Street is touristy, but it's lively, social, and really fun at night. It's a good place to ease into Khmer cuisine and feel the city's energy. One place we kept coming back to was Khmer Taste Restaurant. Simple, affordable, and consistently good. Exactly the kind of place you rely on when you're actually living somewhere. We also just want to give a quick special mention to Bunda Restaurant, which was an epic Vietnamese style restaurant with a Khmer twist, as well as Coco Cat Café, which was a ton of fun with our 1-year-old daughter. We spent almost an hour there patting all the cats and drinking coffee. One of the biggest reasons Siem Reap worked for us is wellness. A Khmer massage is an absolute must try when you're in Cambodia. It's not just relaxing, it feels grounding and therapeutic. The best massage we had in Siem Reap was at Angkor Silk Spa. Professional, calm, and genuinely restorative. Mandy also found her rhythm at Ohm Yoga Studio, a space that felt grounded and welcoming. When you're traveling long term, being able to reset your body matters just as much as sightseeing. One place that completely surprised us and became a bit of a go-to was the wakeboard park just outside town. Siem Reap Wake Park. Even if you're not wakeboarding, this place is worth knowing about. For just a minimum $5 spend on food or drinks, you can use the private beach, relax by the water, and hang out for the whole morning or afternoon. The food was incredible, the music was really good, and the whole place honestly felt more like a low-key beach club than a sports facility. It made for an amazing way to spend slow mornings with our toddler, coffee in hand, feet in the sand, watching people ride the cables. It added a whole nother layer to life in Siem Reap that we honestly weren't expecting. Some of our favourite experiences here had nothing to do with temples at all. Mandy did a pottery class at Khmer Ceramics and Art Centre. The class ran for an hour and 45 minutes, cost $25 and included one finished piece to take home. Her pottery was glazed and ready to be picked up the next day. Such a special, meaningful souvenir. She also did a traditional sewing class at Treak Community Centre. That class was $25 for 3 hours and included tea and cookies, and she also got to take home a tote bag she made herself at the end. These kind of experiences slow you down. They connect you to people, not just attractions. The old market and night markets are similar. Best enjoyed slowly, without a goal, just wandering. There were a couple of things we didn't do in Siem Reap, mostly because we try to avoid very touristy activities and we're also traveling with a baby, but they are still worth mentioning. For example, the Fair Cambodian Circus is highly recommended by a lot of travellers. Also, the landmine detection rats run by Apopo are doing genuinely important work. If those fit your travel style, they're definitely worth looking into. If you only come to Siem Reap for Angkor Wat, then you're gonna miss the point. The city isn't about ticking boxes, it's about slowing down enough to feel where you are. Grab makes daily life effortless. Driving your own tuk-tuk for Angkor and Tonlé Sap lets you move at the right pace. And places like Wakeboard Park, yoga studios, markets, Khmer massage, and quiet sunsets are what turn a short visit into something deeper. We came curious and left genuinely surprised. If Cambodia is on your list, then don't rush Siem Reap. Give it time. It gives back.